Alright, it's time for a very cool deck today. This is Goblins, but not the one that you're familiar with. We're running Sneak Attack today, a card that for just the price of one low red mana, we can put something onto the battlefield and give it haste until end of turn. And then we do have to sacrifice at the end. So let's try to figure out what we can do with this thing. Once Sneak Attack is on the battlefield, we have a really interesting thing that happens. Sneak Attack plus anything that we put onto the battlefield, if we have a Skirk Prospector on the battlefield, means that we can put another thing onto the battlefield for free. So this is going to be really good when we have things like Goblin Ringleader in our deck that basically can put stuff onto the battlefield and then allow us to put something into that we put into our hand back onto the battlefield. So like we play the Ringleader, sack it to Skirk Prospector to pay for Sneak Attack to put one of the things onto the battlefield through Ringleader. And obviously we want that to be a Muxus so that we can kind of go ham with our, Goblin Chieftain, all this other crap that you normally see in these sorts of decks. We basically just want to see if we can make that work. There's a side little cheese thing that we're running here with Ephemerate. We have 4 Sacred Foundries here that can produce the white mana for an Ephemerate. So when we get a Muxus down, we can protect it and get the re-trigger on one of DTBs, which is pretty cool. We'll see if that ends up working in the deck tech today, or in the league today. Squee Dubious Monarch is something that you don't usually see in these Goblin decks, but this is just one that is really nice to eventually sack the Skirk Prospector to get our Sneak Attack online at some point, and then being able to cast him out of the graveyard is pretty nice as well. Not only does he do all that, he also makes a token that can be sacked to Skirk Prospector for Sneak Attack. And other than that, this is kind of like a pretty standard deck, I'd say. Something that gives haste, Goblin Matron to find Muxus or Ringleader, or Skirk Prospector. We have Wily Goblin for mana acceleration, and Enterprising Scallywag is probably one of the newer ones that we've seen. Basically, at the beginning of your end step, if you've descended this turn, meaning that you've sacked something to a Skirk Prospector or blocked or something, you make a treasure token. So we're trying 2 of these today. May or may not give us the mana that we need to Ephemerate or to do another Sneak Attack. Wily Goblin's pretty nice just because it feeds into Sneak Attack. Not only do you play this on turn 2, and then on turn 3 you're able to cast Sneak Attack. If you just play this at some point, you can sack the Skirk Prospector, or you have your token to Sneak Attack again. So you don't really need to have Skirk Prospector necessarily. And the last card that really holds all this together is going to be Artillery Enthusiast. Really nice card. It can also be sacked to Skirk Prospector. And actually, I have made a split-second decision to go down onto 1 Squee. We want 4 of these because this is actually one of the very important card advantage pieces in our deck. Not only because we can get another type of, just like trade a card for another card, but we can find potentially our Skirk Prospectors if we have multiple of these in hand. We can look for that Enterprising Scallywag or Wily Goblin advantage if we're on 2. And then Goblin Matron can find something that gives us haste, or if we need to find a Goblin Matron, we can discard one of these cards and probably find it. And then the other really cool thing is you can discard Goblin Ringleader in order to try to find a Sneak Attack or vice versa. Because multiple Sneak Attacks really aren't useful to us. That is something that we may want to do at some point. So the name of the game is still get Muxus onto the battlefield, but we have some different ways to go about it now. Hope that these games will be cool and that you guys enjoy the deck. Make sure to like the video and comment to help with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe if you're new for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I'll hop into round 1 and see what Sneak Attack Goblins has for us today. Alright, round 1, let's go. We actually have our Sneak Attack here. I'm going to probably just keep based off of that on its own. I think we will go ahead and hang the Skirk Prospector out. We'll try to get a Wily Goblin down next turn, and then we can go for a Sneak Attack. Move to my turn. We find another red mana source, so I think I'll just go ahead and do my Wily Goblin things, and we'll go in. We'll pass turn. Don't want to sack all of our stuff just yet. And we get to move to our turn here, so this is 3 mana plus 4 for Sneak Attack. I can go Sneak Attack. Okay, like this. We'll see if our opponent wants to do anything about it. Oh, they're going to turn it to our hand. Okay, you got it. Not really worth it to do anything else, so we will just attack. Opponent now knows what we're on, but basically once Sneak Attack comes down, I can sack the Wily Goblin and then start to get moving. So let's shock in here. Find our white mana. Here's Sacred Foundry, pay 2 life, here comes Sneak Attack. We will try again. Reprieve again, that's fine, we'll try again next turn. At this point, I don't really think I need to attack. We're going to kill them all in one shot if we ever get this thing to come through. Phyrexian Unlife. Oh, okay, sure. Well, that's not really something that we super care about. Okay, so let's see. Goblin Ringleader will be really nice. We'll play this. We'll go Sneak Attack straight up. We may want to save a little bit of mana here, so we'll actually Phyrexian Tower, adding black from Wily Goblin. Here's Sneak Attack. Alright, here we go. So we'll activate Sneak Attack. Let's put Goblin Ringleader onto the battlefield, draw 4. Or draw a little bit less than 4. Then we can go Skirk Prospector, sacking this guy. Sneak Attack. Go Goblin Matron. Goblin Matron will find Muxus. And then we will activate one more time. Putting Muxus down. We hit a pretty solid amount of things here. We'll take action. Let's grab another Muxus. We will Sneak Attack one more time. Auto pay. Oh, actually, you know what? Probably should have paid for the Sickle Muxus. It's all good. A bunch more things here. We find our Squee, which is good. And then we don't particularly care about having +1/+1 in haste. I could go Artillery Enthusiast, discarding a 3-drop, but I don't really think we need to do that. I think I'll go ahead and just swing in here. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, plus all this other little damage. That should take them to 0, and then we just try to kill with Phyrexian Unlife. It's not quite that many, but still. I could have just put a Chieftain in, I suppose. Yeah, so they're right at 0. And then basically we kill them in next turn, since we do have 10 things on the battlefield. Well, we will once we put our Goblin Chieftain out. Okay. I suppose that will go ahead and Skirk Prospector, sacking some of the things that were going to die anyway. And let's just go for Goblin Chieftain since it's convenient. Alright, now we'll end turn. So pretty big pretty big turn 5 here for us. And it looks like they don't have an answer. Sweet. Round 1 in the bag. I think we definitely could have found a little bit of a cleaner way to victory. Obviously going for multi-Muxus and like getting an extra mana out of the one that Aid Legend ruled could have been done a little bit more efficiently, but a win is a win. We will take it. Putting our opponent down to 0 life on turn 5. Definitely I think we can try for a turn 4 here if we get very lucky. But let's see. We'll hop into round 2 here and try again. Alright, we have a round 2 here. We have an early Ephemerate, and other than that, just a path to a Sneak Attack. But I think we want to mulligan a bit better for this. We can put one of these Sneak Attacks back, and basically on turn 5 we get a Muxus, assuming our opponent doesn't have any hand hate. I'll give this one a try, plus we can draw something with a little bit lower CMC ideally. We have our 1 white mana for Ephemerate. Basically, this Wooded Foothills can now find basic mountains if I want to conserve my life. They draw, we draw. We find another Sneak Attack, which is interesting. Looks like we'll just go ahead and pass. We'll do our Wooded Foothills now and see if we get blown out by a Stifle. We do not. And there's 2 Sacred Foundries. Here we go. Time to see if they're on blue-white control or not. That probably would be a worse matchup for us. Swamp can take Sneak Attack or Muxus. I am slightly worried about that. We're just going to fetch again here, grab another Sacred Foundry. Really just not showing our opponent anything new. And of course this does help us to thin our deck for the Muxus activation eventually, so that is relevant to be playing these fetch lands first. Here comes Orcish Bowmasters. That's not a thing that really matters to us. It does matter for our Skirk Prospector though, so I'm glad they've played one now. I ship Dream Render. Okay, so that does hurt our Goblin Matron. We hit just fetch lands, that's okay. And it looks like I'm going to get the sneak attack down. Oh, nice, we find a Goblin Ringleader. That's huge. So here comes sneak attack. We get to go next turn with both of these cards. And this feels pretty solid. Too bad our... Oh, where is he? Too bad our Squee can't be cast from exile in this case. And here is our sneak attack turn. So I have to decide if Goblin Ringleader should go in first or not. I think I'll start with the Muxus. Alright, we'll put Muxus onto the battlefield. Trigger. Let's hit something good. Sheoldred's Edict, okay. In response, I can go ahead and put in the Goblin Ringleader. And we don't find another Muxus, so I would be happy to sack the Goblin Ringleader there, but our opponent just kind of sees that they've got the death imminent. Okay, so let's see. Goblin Chieftain here, plus Skirk Prospector means that I can kind of continue going. We'd have to see what Muxus gets. But other than that, we're basically just dumping this hand and going in with Muxus and Ringleader. And then all of these things as well. That would be 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14. And yeah, definitely enough to kill the opponent. So it looks like we had them there. Pretty solid game. Actually, it might have been close because of the Sheoldred's Edict. But I think that we definitely had them the next turn regardless. Super great round 2 here. Let's try for another round 3 and see if we can bowl over yet another opponent who's not ready for us. Here we go. Alright, it's round 3. Here we go. We have Muxus and not really a way to get up to there. I'm going to mulligan this one. Artillery Enthusiast is cool. Goblin Matron can find our 4-drop and we can discard it to Artillery Enthusiast to get our sneak attack potentially. I'll give it a try. Then we'll probably not take the... We could use a Phyrexian Tower, I guess. Well, the question is, do we have creatures to feed to the Phyrexian Tower? I guess the answer is yes, so we'll go ahead and put back the Bloodstained Mire. Probably the correct move is to put back Windswept Heath, because that does fetch for 2 colors. But it's nice that we can use the Windswept Heath now while we know that there's a Sacred Foundry still in the deck, so... I don't feel too bad about the way that I played this. They have Polluted Delta. Definitely weren't out of the woods. I was assuming that might have been Stifle, but guess it wasn't. And they just hold here, so it looks like we're playing counter magic. We can drop out this. I mean, I can discard the mountain and thin my deck, I suppose. I don't want to hold out Goblin Matron next turn without protection, but maybe I just need to slow play. See if they want to let me discard here. Oh, they're actually just going to stifle this. That's totally okay. Because I did not really have a use for it. So we can maybe get a little sneaky with the Phyrexian Tower into Muxus on turn 4. Or actually that'd be turn 5, right? Oh, well, here's a sneak attack just right away. Unfortunately, we'd be going into a counter spell, so I have to start with Goblin Matron. And then my choice for this is probably Skirk Prospector. We'll take action. It's either Goblin Ringleader or Skirk Prospector. I think I take the Prospector in this case. And then we don't want to attack because we want to maintain in case there's a Bowmasters in hand. See what their end step play is. I need them to commit to the board. That just gives me a turn to go absolutely off next turn. It's Brainstorm. I imagine they have a lot of stuff that is instant speed, so that's going to make my attack here a little awkward. One thing that's not in here that needs to be is 4 copies of, what is it called? Tavern of Souls, which I'll add after this game. That was actually neglected in the deck building when I was making this deck. But definitely a strict non-include, or a strict misplay to not include that. So make sure that when you do this, you copy the updated deck list in the description, which will have those Cavern of Souls in there. Anyway, our opponent is still holding up counterspell mana. Do they have removal here? I'm curious. It's going to be Swords to Plowshares on this guy. How interesting. Deathrite Shaman. Mystic Sanctuary putting swords back on top? Okay. Man, I wonder if they have Counterspell here. They didn't feel the need to play it out. So that's sort of interesting. If I go Phyrexian Tower for mana, then it's a little awkward. I might need to sneak attack past the turn. So it's either I go Skirk Prospector now, play Phyrexian Tower. Well, yeah, if they counter either Sneak Attack or Skirk Prospector, I'm kind of done. So I'm just going to try to bait them out with a Sneak Attack. So this one, they could maybe let resolve. If they have a counterspell, they need to use it now, because these are just going to all be abilities. So that makes sense. And so maybe we do this, know that they're taking Swords to Plowshares next turn, and then we just pass. Alright, this can work. Polluted Delta, either this has to be a counterspell as their last card in hand, or we're doing something else. Polluted Delta can re-pick up Mystic Sanctuary, or can find another Mystic Sanctuary, get counterspell to the top of the library, and I think that's what they're doing. And I'm hoping that I've just, oh, well, they probably have Brainstorm here, right? It's Lorien revealed, that's tough. Okay, well, that means that they're tapped out, so I can get in there. So I think that means we're good. So we go Sneak Attack, not like this. We want to make 2 mana, Sneak Attack. Sneak Attack, first putting in Muxus. And see if we can get there. Huge Goblin Ringleader. I think we'll just search for another Goblin Ringleader at this point, since we have, nah, we do want to do a Muxus, because Muxus can hit another Ringleader. Alright, so we get to put a bunch of things onto the battlefield. I'll correct my mistake here from last game and use Skirk Prospector on Muxus. In order to make the red mana to put in new Muxus. We will Sneak Attack activation. Here comes another Muxus. And let's hope to hit well here. Enterprising Scallywag, okay. We'll go Chieftain. Chieftain needs to come in not as a Sneak Attack creature. I think, how am I on attacks here? I have 1 Chieftain, yeah, just going with the other Chieftain. I'll get rid of like, a Matron or something. Make these things big enough, and I believe that's lethal. Seems to be. If not, I can flash something in. But yep, that is going to be the game here in round 3. I think that that's probably one of the best best matchups we've had so far against a deck that is really hard to beat for this kind of strategy that doesn't play blue itself. Blue-white control or anything that supersedes that or supersets that is always really hard to beat for like red combo. Glad we were able to make it under the wing there. That Lorien revealed just a little bit too late, picking up their counter spell. And yeah, great round 3. Let's hop into round 4. Here we go. All right, round 4. All right, well, we have a sneak attack in hand. It's a little bit slow to play it, but the Muxus is already in hand. I mean, yeah, I think this is a good one to keep. We will begin to fetch. Get that Sacred Foundry. Now, the question is, do I want to save... Well, okay, I only need to save 2 for my wooded... Not wooded foothills. Yes, wooded foothills. No, the other one. The green-white fetch land. Anyway, put this in tapped. We'll go Chieftain on 3, Sneak Attack on 4. Maybe using the Chieftain to pay for it. I think we are going to do that since this is an aggressive deck. Alright. No need to attack here, and then basically on turn 4 we can have Sneak Attack activation. If they have Shock, they'll want to use it now. Okay, so we go like this, and I go Phyrexian Tower, make 2 black, sacking this, and 3/4, and then have enough for Skirk Prospector. Perfect. Sneak Attack. Oh, it's a little bit off. I actually need to hit Skirk Prospector here. Okay, and if they just counterspell the Sneak Attack, it's all good. Okay, well, let's just do the Goblin now. Cool. Possible Stifle here. Nope, they let me have it. Cool. We don't hit the Skirk Prospector, unfortunately, so we stop here. But other than that, I think we're doing solid. We can discard the other Sneak Attack to try to find not a Sneak Attack. We find our Goblin Suite. And yeah, this will be an attack all in. And they may bounce something. Okay, Goblin Chieftain, sure. Well, I mean, I'm gonna have 4 mana next turn, so not looking great for the opponent. We have to sack Muxus, and then we'll get rid of the Enterprising Scallywag. That's probably not our best card. And it looks like they're just going to let us go here. We will go ahead and activate Sneak Attack. Here comes a Muxus. Bunch of cards here. That is the Skirk Prospector, so now we're looking good. We'll use Goblin Matron to find another Muxus. And we will... is there anything to discard? I think nothing I'm really interested in discarding here, so we'll Skirk Prospector, sack, not the Matron, but Muxus. And where's our other Muxus? There he is. Oops, it's a Sneak Attack activation, not a cast. Thank you for not auto-flicking for me. Muxus, here he is. Another big hit. Things are getting big here, and yeah, that is looking like lethal. Opponent agrees, and we're out of round 4 with another win. I'm really liking how this deck is pulling together. It is really, really explosive off of Sneak Attack, let me tell you. Oh my gosh. Really, really cool here, and I hope you guys are just as interested in trying this one out as I have been. This was a full craft for me. I've played Goblins before, but there are a lot of things that I was missing. And I really think that it was worth it to craft like this. I think you could definitely work on a budget version of this as well. Really, all you need is the Sneak Attacks, Muxuses. There's the Chieftain, and then there's the one that discounts your Goblin spells, which is pretty solid. Then you need the 4 Skirk Prospectors, which are really cheap. And same with the Ringleaders. So definitely a really good and really effective Goblins build. I think we'll start to see a lot of this one being played here in the near future for Timeless. Alright, round 5 coming up. We have one final one. I'll see you there. Alright, 5th and final round here. Let's go. We have Matron into Ringleader and Sneak Attack. It might be Goblin Matron. I can get my... Skirk Prospector. Okay, wait, I see something cooking here. So we go Goblin Matron on 3. And then on turn 4, sack this to Phyrexian Tower, play the Skirk Prospector that we got. Hopefully we draw land in one of our first 3 draws. That is going to leave me with how much mana? 4, take away 1, that's 3. Then we get 4 again, sacking Matron, and then the 5th one can be used to put in Goblin Ringleader. And then we'd fizzle. Okay, so this is not perfect. I'm still keeping it, but we will probably need to play a turn behind. We won't get to rush right ahead. There's that Sacred Foundry I was hoping for. Let's fetch another Sacred Foundry off of our Flooded Strand. And I guess we do have Ephemerate to save Matron and get another Goblin, which is cool. Oh, Juggernaut Paddler, ouch. Oh, we're going to get a Juggernaut. Might take Sneak Attack here. We will be able to discard Ringleader. Yeah, okay. Unfortunate. Another Wooded Foothills here. Let's go ahead and get another Sacred Foundry. We are still not playing anything this turn. So you go. Prosperous Innkeeper. Senate Scout Exploration. Okay. Gotha Triumph. Could be some weird Crater Hoof build. I'm not really thinking that it's that. We're going to go Matron for our good friend, the Skirk Prospector. I could also just discard my Juggernaut, looking for either another Ringleader or something with a Artillery Enthusiast. I like that idea. We can at least make their attacks a little annoying. Yikes. Okay, so this is Amalia. We have to avoid her getting to 20. Alright, so Phyrexian Tower, what does that get me? If I had Skirk Prospector, we'd be in business, but unfortunately we don't. Or, I mean, if we had our, whatchamacallit? If we had our Sneak Attack. So, Enterprising Scallywag doesn't trigger unless I chump block with Goblin Matron. That actually, I would have to chump attack, actually. I could go Enterprising Scallywag plus Artillery Enthusiast plus Ephemerate. Oh, that's the move. So, let's fetch basic here to save on a little bit of life. We will go Enterprising Scallywag, Artillery Enthusiast. Oh, and because I fetched, we're chilling. And then I want to discard Juggernaut here. Can we hit a Sneak Attack? Yes, we can. Let's go. And then we will not attack. We will use our block to either evade removal. Or sorry, we'll use our Ephemerate to either evade removal or retrigger our Goblin Matron. And then we go in with Sneak Attack next turn. Okay. This is shaping up. Amalia is getting bigger. That is always scary. This is the full exploration package with Wild Growth Walker. That will get absolutely out of control. I mean, they've already gone like... Oh, this is actually an infinite combo. Did not realize that. Alright, well that's cool. I guess we'll go ahead and just do our ephemerating now. We need to put something into hand that's going to be useful for us. And that useful thing is going to need to be exactly Muxus. So even if they wipe the board here, we will be able to get around it. And then if it's exactly 20, okay. So this will just be a board wipe, and then does the game end in a draw? Oh no, then they can just decide to start milling crap. Very cool combo. This is something that I haven't played on the channel before, but Exploration is a very, very cool very cool mechanic. And also they're running Return to the Ancestors, the sorcery version of it, which is really interesting. Immediately just destroys the board, and then we get burned to all hell. I think this is a pretty cool one to end on. Very, very interesting combo deck, and it shows like a combo versus combo matchup that we haven't seen in the rest of the series. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Make sure to check out the deck list and play some games with this thing. Tell me how Sneak Attack works for you. Look forward to seeing it in other decks here. We have some Omni Show, Sneak and Show stuff coming up later, so make sure that you subscribe for those. And to help me with the YouTube algorithm, please go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Or, well, like and comment is the two things that matter for the algorithm. So make sure that you do that. It helps me out a bunch. And with that being said, that's all for me. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.